Did the carnivore diet cure me of my seasonal allergies? Hey, what's shaking bacon? My name's Bruno Panucci. I hope you're doing well. So a year ago, I did something that was a little bit not crazy or anything like that, but I tried something different with the carnivore diet, and it made a dramatic impact in my allergies at the time. And I would say it got rid of my allergies 90, maybe 95%. It was quite fascinating. And this year, I was wondering if it was still going to be in effect from the work I did last year with this carnivore diet. I ate carnivore in a very particular way for quite a few months, for about 3 solid months. And there was some short-term side effects that weren't good. And the long-term side effects so far were amazing. And those short-term side effects were well worth it. I put on 50 pounds in a matter of 3 months doing this way of carnivore. So people will say, no, you can't put on weight doing carnivore. You know what? It depends on a few things. Depends on your health history, first and foremost. And it also depends on how much you're eating. I was eating too much. Guaranteed I was eating way too much. And I was moving quite a bit. And it still had this huge impact. I remember I must have put on at least 25 pounds in the first month of doing this. That being said, it's always been easy for me to put on weight. And in the next couple months, I probably put on the other 25 pounds. But when I lost it fast. I lost about 30 pounds of it in about a week, which was really weird because I wasn't trying. What I did was a high fat version of carnivore. And I had a lot of fat when I was doing it. I was having a lot of beef fat and I was rendering it down myself, and I was trying to get fat at times from the kidneys, around the kidneys, as well as just regular beef fat. I was rendering it down in an air fryer, and then from the air fryer, I would just put it into molds, and I was having these molds, and I was also having these leftover shriveled up pieces of fat that those renderings dripped from, right? So it salted up and it was good, but I was having a lot. That's probably why I put on so much weight. Some people, when they do a high fat version of carnivore, put on weight, even if they stick to an allotted amount of calories in a day. So when I first tried high fat carnivore, I put on weight and I lost it very quickly as well, but I only put on about 25 pounds. And I was making sure to stay within a caloric limit daily. And that was a couple years ago now I did that. It didn't really have too much of an effect on me. I ended up at the end of it a little bit lower than where I started. I got down to about 304 pounds after I stopped doing that. But it was also too low of a protein for me. My body just didn't agree with it. This time I was having a lot of fat, because they often say when you're doing a high fat version of carnivore, sky's the limit. You want fat? Because there's no or virtually no insulin bump eating fat. Go crazy on it because it won't do anything. But if you already have insulin resistance and you have maybe something else going on like I might have, maybe there's something in my fat cells that doesn't want to be released. Maybe there's damage to my fat cells. Maybe it's my pancreas. That's all another story, another video. But regardless, when I did this high fat version of carnivore in spring of 2023, to my surprise, my allergies went away. My seasonal allergies that kick in at the end of the spring, the beginning of the summer, when the dandelions turn into a fine powder and those particles fly all through the air. That has done me in for 30 years. For 30 years, I've been dealing with seasonal allergies. And it was around that time I also realized I was allergic to cats. So I haven't really put it to the test too much with cats, but they don't seem to bother me too much anymore anyway. But regardless, I was always blown away at all through 2023, going into 2024, if this was going to last. I had no idea if that was just a great year, because after that high fat version of carnivore, I did a lot of intermittent fasting last summer and fall, and for different reasons. And I was always wondering if I ever undid some of the benefits I got from doing that high fat version of carnivore, because the theory behind it is allergies come from exhausted adrenal glands. And when you give your body the fat it needs for the hormones, to produce the hormones, for the glands to do their job, you need that high fat version of carnivore. That's what I did based off Dr. Elizabeth Bright. So you can look up her on YouTube sometime. And so I did that. She usually puts people on that protocol for at least 2 months, a high fat version of carnivore, and 80-20 or 90-10. And I went for the 90-10. So long and short of it is, here we are in 2024, the middle of June, and my allergies haven't been an issue. This has been life-changing after 30 years of dealing with allergies. I developed allergies when I was 18 or 19, so it's been a solid 30 years. And this is where I'm at. My allergies are a moot point. They are maybe a 0.5 or 1 on a scale of 1 to 10. I wouldn't argue that Carnivore has cured me of my allergies so much as it's gone into remission. I may get them back next year. I don't know. If I do get them back, I know what I'm going to do for it though. High fat, what a difference. So this has been a big game changer for me. Seasonal allergies really control your life for about 4 to 6 weeks, and it's a real pain in the butt. So I'm not going to recommend any particular version of Carnivore for you if you're dealing with any sort of health problem. But if you want to contact or look into Dr. Elizabeth Bright, she lives in Italy. She's not Italian to my knowledge, but I think her husband is. So that's why she lives there. And you can look into something like that to deal with your hormone imbalances. She tends to work more with women with menopause, premenopause, and things like that. And I have thyroid problems as well as adrenal gland issues. I've been diagnosed with that for decades. And so that's why I followed her advice, and it paid off. Last time I did it, I just ate whatever I wanted when I wanted, and I was having lots of bacon, a little bit of ground beef, and a lot of fat. I highly recommend looking into this if this is something you deal with or a loved one deals with. If they're already doing Carnivore, what's the difference if they try this for a few weeks? I would try it next spring, early in the year, maybe January, February, March. I'd do it for at least 3 months if you're going to do this. That's what it took for my body to get the results it needed. Maybe 1 month would have done it really well, but I did high-fat Carnivore for 2 or 3 months before that, a year before, and it didn't affect my allergies at all. It wasn't until I went crazy high fat and had probably way too many calories than I needed that it seemed to have this effect. I don't know if giving my body an abundance of calories, which hurt me in the way of like weight gain and associated issues with weight gain. My blood pressure went up, my heart rate went up. I was getting winded easily. I was starting to snore again, and all that went away, like I said, really, really quickly. So many people out there are so worried about the weight gain that they won't ever try something like that. And the weight gain is temporary and it melts off really fast. I couldn't believe how fast it melted off. I'd get on the scale, and after I put on that 50 pounds, and I was adjusting my caloric intake by that point naturally. I wasn't doing it to adjust the calories. I was just getting to the point where I just didn't need to eat as much. And for the last month of that 3 solid months I was doing it, my caloric intake was going down naturally. And I finally hit this tipping point where one day I went on the scale and I dropped 5 pounds. And the next day I went on the scale, I dropped 4 pounds. The next day I went on the scale, I dropped 5 pounds. And I did that up until I got to 30 pounds of weight loss. And then the rest of it came over the next month or so. So for me, it was worth it. I don't think it cured me of my allergies. I think it put it into remission. I may get my allergies back. Hopefully I don't. So that's my anecdotal experience. I hope some of you out there find it beneficial, whether you're doing Carnivore or not. Remember, the high fat I was getting was animal fat. And I don't think that's going to work when you're having seed oils of any kind. Has to be animal fat, animal protein for a few months. Give it a shot. You have nothing to lose. It's more affordable than doing Carnivore because fat is cheap. That's the beautiful thing about doing that, because now you're having the majority of your calories at maybe, I get my fat trimmings at $1 a pound. So that's really affordable. And so when your majority of calories are coming from fat trimmings, it's a really affordable way to eat for a window of time. Anyway, thanks a lot. I hope you found this video interesting. I'm so excited to have made this one particular video. I've been waiting a year to make this video because I wanted to see how long the benefits of that high fat version of Carnivore would last for. And I always wondered if I'd make it through this year, allergy free and symptom free. And so far I have. It's been wonderful. Thanks a lot. Take care.